Hello friends, this is Chandrakant from Akulmac Technologies. Welcome to TopBrass. Today we have Mr. Dave Myers, who's the CEO of Digital Broiler. He's joining us from St. Louis. And as you know friends, we bring leadership in this program, and today we are very honored to have Dave. Welcome Dave to TopBrass.
Hey CK, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Dave, and I see a bright sunny day behind you.
Absolutely, 75 degrees and sunny, just like every day in Missouri.
Right. So, Dave, as I said, we are honored to have you. And in this discussion, we will know more about you and your company. And one information I would like to give to my viewers upfront is that you are launching your services in India. And that is why, you are very eager to talk to our Indian viewers. So my first thing that I want to ask you is that you are a very established leader. You have almost 2 decades of versatile journey. So would you like to share your experience, how your journey shaped your career?
Absolutely. Yeah, I started in the business, boy, it's been a good 20, 25 years. I came up through the ranks as a programmer, so I've done everything from sit in the cube and code, and was part of Best Buy, which is a big online retailer you might be familiar with. We were part of their first online store that they built. Spent a lot of time throughout the Midwest, about 20 years in cold Minneapolis, Minnesota. And we journeyed our way back to Missouri in roughly 2010, I think it was. And that's when I really got into the digital marketing space. Started out doing text marketing, which we thought was going to be the next big thing, and the Midwest just wasn't ready for it. So we kind of kept going and got into website design. Then people started asking us, hey, can you do search engine optimization? And so I had to go research that, figure out what it was. And then it became social media, and next thing you know, we were an agency. And I got with a business partner for about 3 or 4 years. That had its ups and downs. And so finally, about 2 years ago, decided to rebrand myself as Digital Broiler, and really decided to focus in mostly on website design, but the local SEO really started to intrigue me, and that's kind of where we started our journey.
Great. So I think as a leader, you had seen different transformation in the industry, and there are a lot of learnings. So what do you, in terms of transition of the industry and your career path and your company, is there a key learning that you would like to share with our viewers?
Yeah, I think, the thing about this industry is it changes, right? Every day it's changing. And, I think you have to stay up on it, whether you're a professional like us and you're trying to build an organization that's helping businesses, or even if you're those businesses, you really have to stay on top of it. Problem is they don't have the time, right? And they're looking for people like us and you and people to help them try to figure out their path.
Yeah, I think it's a very important message. I think people, the SMEs and the startups should listen to a person like you with a lot of experience. So what is your one mantra which makes you successful? Whatever situation may be, but you follow certain policy, certain guidelines, certain mantra for success in yourself, which you never change. What is that?
Well, I think most of it is that, I think our biggest key is we try to listen to what these businesses need. I think too many people try to come in and slam a solution down their throat and say, oh, you got to do this, you got to do this. And, we try to take a more of a holistic approach and really understand what their problems are. And many of these business owners don't know what their problems are. So a lot of it is really trying to sit back, ask some questions, and listen. And I think that's where a lot of these businesses, even companies like ours, a lot of them don't succeed because they're all about selling the product, right? Sell the product, sell the product. And, in many cases, our product might not even be the right product. So we really try to guide them down the right path. We've got a lot of different partners we work with. So if somebody looks for social media and we're not the social media guys, but I got a great group of people we can turn them to. And I think that's the important part. is really trying to understand their needs and then help them solve those problems.
That is the key word. Learn to listen. I think that is where the problem is. People don't listen. They just want to sell. I think it's a very good message, Dave. I really appreciate of this particular message. Um, your company is Digital Broiler, which is headquartered out of St. Louis, and now you're entering India, which is an expert company, and you actually sort of automate the marketing messaging part for it. Would you like to share a little bit more information about your product and about your company?
Yeah, absolutely. We really over the last year and a half, we really decided that, you know, everybody's everybody and their brother's selling SEO, and everybody's an SEO expert. And if you step back and we'll walk into a company that somebody's spending a lot of money on SEO, and the business owner will look at me and say, "Man, we're spending a lot of money, and we don't know what's going on. We don't have a report. We can't see an increase in rankings. Our web impressions haven't changed." And that really started to hit home after a while, and realized that everybody that thinks they're an SEO expert doesn't know a fifth of it, really. And that's honest. I mean, it's there's a lot of great companies out there, do not get me wrong, but there's a lot of people that just kind of got into the industry because they saw it as a cash cow 8-10 years ago, and they've still been riding the wave. And so we started really looking heavy into local SEO, and mostly because when somebody comes in and they've got a business and it's in the St. Louis area, as an example, most SEO companies come in here and they go, "We're going to get you to rank for landscaping in St. Louis." Well, that's great, but you're trying to do the same thing that every other guy's doing for that different landscape company. So we kind of took it to another level, and we said, we're going to dive this down into a way we can go after the local cities. Because if I'm somebody that's out in a suburb of St. Louis and I'm searching, it's going to look in my local community first. So if I'm trying to target St. Louis, it does me no good. So about 12 months ago, we put together a platform that allows us to utilize WordPress. And what we've done is essentially set it up so that we can dynamically change content within our website based on the cities that you're targeting. So it replicates the website essentially in a virtual state, and it'll change your city, your state. It can change some content within the pages so that it appears and it looks as if you've got a presence in those local cities. And you can imagine by doing that, what it does is it gives you a better search presence, simply because those smaller cities don't have the population of St. Louis. So there's only so many landscape companies in Eureka, or only so many landscape companies in Chesterfield. So you have a much better chance of trying to rank organically, and that's really what I believe in. I believe that organic search is still everybody's best bet as a long-term solution. Now, I do believe that paid search, whether it's Facebook ads or Google PPC, is certainly something people should do in the right scenarios. But I think too many people have decided that, if I just do pay-per-click, that I'm going to be on page one of Google no matter what. And that's really not true. There's a lot of factors that go into that. And what I think we've found is that, the consumer is really starting to, they almost look at Google like a newspaper. And, in your newspaper, you've got thousands of ads, right? I mean, anybody can pay to play. And I just think that people are starting to really look over those ads and try to find the people that are truly, working to be on the first page, and people be able to find them. They're looking past the directories, and they're trying to find, the organic people that are there. So our plugin, really what it's done is it's simplified a lot of the SEO tasks that people are having to do on the back end. You still have to do some, but it's really reduced the cost and the labor to make, rankings possible now.
So I think your technology and your product offerings and your solution really is very, very important for many Indian companies, because India has a large population. There are many software companies based out of India. There are many cities, and India has suddenly become very important now for past 10 years. So there is a lot of internal consumption of service which is also happening. So I think SEO and what you're talking about is will make a lot of sense for the Indian companies to adapt and do it more efficiently. I think your product offering, your company can definitely help Indian clients.
That's great. Yeah, I think it's, I think that's the beauty of it is because, and the main reason we went after, WordPress websites specifically is just simply because, I mean, it's probably got 35 to 40% of the market. And it's just got more flexibility. And so we could do this on a custom site. We could probably do it on some website builders, but, the time and the development cost to do that would not be, right, because there's too many of them. So we really just tried to hone in on, what we thought makes the most sense. And this, I think it does.
Very good. We wish you all the best for your launch in India. But let's continue with our discussion. And
Sure.
you have come a long way, Dave. You are a leader, recognized leader in the industry. Uh, you have your successes. But I think when we talk about success, we have to also talk about the pitfalls, failures, which is part of life. So would you like to share some of these failures and how you overcome and what are your learnings with our viewers?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I've had both personal failures and heck, I've had plenty of business failures, as most of us have that are running a small business. But I mean, I'll go personal for a little bit, and we were back in 2007. Everybody was kind of riding the wave, and then the whole economic disaster happened, right? And we had a small company then, doing a lot of things, and we had ended up in Arkansas, and we started a new company. They're thinking that we'd kind of ride the coattails of Walmart, and when the economic boom happened, everybody just died. And unfortunately, at that point, our company and me personally, we had to deal with bankruptcy. It's just happened. I mean, the sad part is that we were one of a million. It wasn't like it was an anomaly. It was happening everywhere. And that was tough. And it took us, a good 2 years to kind of get back on our feet, build back up. And, I've always been an entrepreneur by heart. And I really believe that, if you dig your feet in the sand and you've got something to offer, that you're going to get back on the horse. And, so we stepped back in, and around 2010, we kind of felt like we came back up for air. And, that's when we started Digital Broiler, and we really got it going. So, I've had some hurdles, and, from a business perspective, that tied right in, when you feel like you're on top of the world, and then all of a sudden it comes crashing down, there's a lot of heartache around everybody around you. But, we stepped back in, and here we are today, 10 years later, and we're doing great.
I think there's a lot to learn from you, and the biggest the biggest thing I would take away from this discussion is that no matter what, I mean, you are an inspirational leader. No matter what, you have to always get up and start again, all over again if you have to. So I think that is a critical message that you're giving, and that's a learning for us, for me, and also for my viewers. So let's little bit talk about the industry, because you have seen ups and downs. Now, from now onwards, from 2020, where do you see the industry heading to?
Well, I think I see, wish I had a crystal ball, of course, but the from a search perspective, definitely everything, you're hearing more about, artificial intelligence, AI this, AI that, and I think that I definitely think that's going to play a big part in it. I was talking to a colleague the other day, and he was telling me about some technologies and things that they're working on, where they're going all the way down to the mobile device, and they're getting the IP addresses of where people are and where they live. And, they're starting to serve up ads based on demographics and where people are. And, I sometimes I feel like I'm living in a cave, and I don't even see things. And all of a sudden you hear something like that and you go, wow. But I think, everything's mobile, right? I mean, I think 5 years ago, 40% of the people were searching or looking on mobile. I think now it's probably upwards of 70 to 75%. Everything's happening on a mobile device. You know, I think a lot of people are still using mobile apps. I don't personally feel that they're as big as everybody thought they were going to be. I think in different industries they are. But, you know, when you got Amazon out there doing what they do, everybody's going to try to follow suit, right? And so I think, you know, as we move along, you know, we're going to know more about people. We're going to know more about demographics. We're going to be using more artificial intelligence. I mean, obviously, at some point, we're going to have cars driving themselves, and we're just going to sit back and we'll be on our phone until we get to our destination. But, you know, it's hard to say. But I think that, you know, there's certainly a lot more to go, and there's a lot more technology coming that a lot of us don't know about. And, you know, we're trying to stay ahead of the curve. I think even with our local SEO approach, I think some people would say that's still old school mentality. But I have to disagree a bit, just simply because people are still going to be searching, and you still got to have organic results, and you're not going to always be able to pay or do, you know, and pay-per-click gets expensive for people. You know, I mean, and I mean, people can spend $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, even as a small business, to get results that aren't even what they really need or want. So that's why I believe that, you know, organic local SEO is a big deal still, and I think it always will be, just simply because, you know, your long-term viability is going to be based on you showing up, and somebody's always searching for that top spot, and the day you stop doing it, somebody's going to jump on top of you.
So I think I'm a great proponent of AI, but when it comes to driving, I want to be in driver's seat. I don't want any AI to drive my car.
I'm with you. I have hard enough time with my 17-year-old behind the wheel.
Great. So I think we've almost come to the end of our discussion. So in the end, I would like to ask you one question. And you're launching your product offerings in India, which is a very large country, and there are a lot of players in this marketplace. What is your expectation from this market, from Indian subcontinent?
Sure. Well, I think one of the big things we probably were thinking is, you know, we'd love to figure out how to partner up with some key agencies. You know, we're always looking for good resellers of our product. And I think that, you know, along that line, we're going to also stumble across some, you know, direct business. But I think the value to this is to those local agencies, whether they're SEO agencies or their website groups, because what it does is, you know, this product wasn't made to replace somebody doing SEO. This product was made to enhance their SEO, and it takes what they're doing now and it puts it on steroids. So, you know, when you have the ability to take somebody's website and essentially say, you know, I'm going to target, you know, 10 or 11 cities around me or areas even, you know, and now I've taken 10 web pages and I've turned it into 100 by typing in 10 cities. That's pretty powerful. So I think the goal is really for these agencies to understand we're not looking to replace anything they're doing. We're adding value with a product that can help their client grow faster, quicker, and outside the box.
Great, Dave. It was my great pleasure to talk to you. And I appeal to the viewers that they can reach out to you and your colleagues in your company. And hopefully you will find the right partners in India to take or to basically propel your offerings to various cities, to various enterprises here. So I wish you all the best from my side as well as from my company.
We appreciate that, CK. I appreciate you having us, and we look forward to hopefully penetrating the India market and seeing where we can go.
Certainly, I wish you all the best again, and it was greatest pleasure of mine. We will find another opportunity to talk to you very soon. Until then,